Hello and good evening, everyone. We will get started in about a minute. Give you some time to hop on. We need a block, a blanket, and a towel. So for a towel, you don't, I'm just using a yoga towel, but you could use any towel or a thin kind of blanket would be great. And we will start in a seated position. And for this spring cleaning series, we'll be working through, of course, a few of these evening classes called Bedtime Bliss. And each of these classes will be focused on tools and techniques that we can use to bring ourselves to a more restful state. We'll also, of course, work through discovering more calm through the nervous system. And the morning classes are going to be little shots of fire, so ways to build heat and start to prepare you for the day, as well as focusing on twists and lots of core stuff. So we have some wonderful things to go through and in a short period of time. So each of these classes in the spring cleaning workshop are just 30 minutes long. So it's a little bit easier to fit into your day. And also these classes are intended to be repeated through the week. So you could use this evening class every night or 3 nights of the week. And you can use the morning classes, like every day or whatever suits you whenever you need that extra burst of energy, or of course, whenever you need that extra dose of calm. So now that I've been talking for a couple minutes, we'll begin the class. Now we'll start in a thunderbolt pose or a supported hero's pose, depending on what your hips and knees say to you today. So I'm suggesting that you use a block. So to get into hero's pose, you could just come into table, open your feet wider than your hips, and then the hips can sit back down and between the heels. Now we will be here for a couple minutes, so I do suggest getting a block, setting it between your heels and allowing your hips to settle in from there. If you've got some tension happening in your knees or your ankles, you could, of course, if you have a bolster, you could set it behind your knees and thighs, or you can roll your blanket up and set it there as well. So just make sure you feel comfortable. And it's really easy for you to be here and have your towel handy, yeah? So just have the towel kind of unfolded and then just set it aside because we'll use it shortly. We just want it to be really easy and accessible to grab. So at this point, now that we've already been in hero's pose for almost a minute, notice if there's anything you need to adjust. So if you need a little bit more height for your hips, maybe you need a little more support somewhere, whatever it is, just settle in. Allow your palms to be face down on the thighs to start. And work into that posture. So with your eyes closed, and bringing your inner gaze all the way down in toward your navel. And start to gently secure your navel toward your spine. So finding some awareness there, some integrity through the core. Allow your breathing to start to slow. And then let's shift our inner attention all the way down into our hips and toward our sit bones. Balancing out through the left and the right sit bones. Make sure you feel balanced. Notice if you're leaning forward or back or to one side or the other, and bring yourself to center. Notice the shifts in your breathing already, allowing things to slow down. Maybe you have some body temperature shifts happening. Perhaps you just ate a meal and your body's still digesting. Maybe you feel really warm, or maybe you feel kind of cold. Just notice and start to guide your breath a little lower into the belly. Starting to feel a gentle softening sensation around the lower region of your lungs and into the diaphragm. You start to feel a little more flexible with your breathing. Noticing that gentle expansion in all four directions each time you inhale. And that gentle contraction or wringing out of the breath on every exhale. Moving into alternate nostril breathing or Nadi Shodhana, bring your index finger and your middle finger of your right hand to your third eye or center of your forehead. We'll start with the left nostril, so use your right thumb to block your right nostril, and then just gently inhale through the left side. Close the left side, exhale right. Inhale through the right. Close it down, exhale left. Continue back in through left. And out through the right. Continue this breathing pattern. From side to side, just allowing the breath to slowly move in and out. Notice as this breath ripples up and down your spine. Observing the gentle shifts in your alignment and your posture as you breathe. Observing any spaces where the breath may get stuck. And noticing the responses from your body and your mind as you encounter those stuck spaces. And be with it. Just do your best to be patient with wherever you're at with your breathing. Offer a little more kindness, a little more compassion. This is a wonderful way to bring balance into your body and into the mind. Great opportunity to review and reflect on the day. And no rush at all, but when your next exhale is through your left nostril, allow that to be the final exhale of this breathing practice. Both hands eventually relaxing on the lap, breathing in and out of both nostrils. And sitting nice and tall still, make sure you feel very comfortable here. If you need some more support for your hips, please use it. Let's reach to grab for our towel and just bring it around the back of the neck. Make sure you're not wearing a necklace or anything like that. And if you have a ponytail, just get it out so you've got your towel directly on the back of your neck. So the ends of the towel are just falling in front of the chest. We're going to reach the right arm on top and grab the left side of the towel. The left arm goes behind and we grab the right side. From here, we're pulling downward with the left hand, and then the right hand is going up on an angle. The towel will draw across the side of the face, pretty much in line with the ear, and up and over to the right. So you'll feel a bit nice stretch through that left side. Keep the belly nice and engaged and just go to your edge. There's no reason to go super deep. Just feel enough of a stretch and then slowly release. Come back to center. Grab onto both ends with the hands, so right hand on the right side, left hand on the left side, and then just gently drop your head back. Feel the support of that towel, and as your head is leaning back, just gently rock side to side. Tiny little movements, working out any tension from the neck. And slowly, when you're ready, just come to stillness and bring your head back up neutral. So now we'll have the left arm in front, grabbing the right side of the towel, and the right arm comes behind to grab the left side. Now we're pulling down with the right hand. The left arm goes up and over to the left as we draw the towel across the right side of the head, about ear height, and enjoy that big stretch on the neck. Breathe in, breathe out. And then slowly release. Come back to center. Once again, right hand to the right side, left hand to the left side. Pull on that towel and let your head drop back. Just nice and easy. And then a little rock side to side. Awesome. And then stillness. Release tension from the towel. And now we're going to bring the towel up the back of the head. So just on the back of the skull, just on that occipital bone. So just slide the towel up so it feels nice and secure. And then we'll slowly gather the towel in front of the forehead and grab on with both hands. And just let your head drop. We're not pulling on the head. We're just allowing that natural weight of the arms to give us a little bit of an extra stretch in the back of the neck. And then nice and slowly ease off. Let your head come up neutral and slide the towel off to the side. Beautiful. From here, just slowly, let's come off of the block. So you might want to lift your hips away from the block so that when you're ready, you can easily bring the hips back down and just sweep the feet ahead of you. Give the legs a little shake. All right, so a little bit more for the hips here. Now you choose which edge suits you. We're moving into cow face pose, Gomukhasana, or known as shoelace pose as well. So let's start with a straight left leg, and then we can cross the right leg on top. So the right knee faces forward. The ankle is just relaxed outside that left hip. Of course, you could use whatever support you need. You may want to sit on your block or your blanket. Up to you. If available, that bottom left leg can bend in, so we have both knees stacked. Now we also want both sit bones to be flat on the ground, so please honor your body. We won't be here for too long, but for the time that we are here, we certainly want it to be effective. So let's do our best to just sit tall and close the eyes for a moment. And reach your left hand up to the ceiling, and then bend your elbow and just pat yourself on the back. Right hand comes onto the left elbow. Give yourself a nice stretch as you continue to sit tall. Being mindful of the low ribs. Make sure they don't puff out too much. Contain the abdominals. Maintain that tall posture. And then if available, maybe slowly bringing yourself into a little fold forward. Eventually release the hands, bring them down to the ground, and just simply soften to the edge that suits you. And just simply practicing balanced breathing while we're here. So equal inhales and equal exhales. You may want to count to 5 for your inhales and exhales, or maybe you want to count to 7 and see how that feels. Do what feels most effective for you today. Really checking in if there are any spaces that are stuck. This is time to make sure that the soil in our garden is tilled and fresh so that new life can sprout up. So just notice the condition of your garden, the condition of your soil. Notice any shifts in your breathing. And notice any shifts in just your entire being when you shift into the idea of your body being like a garden or your mind being like a garden. Perhaps it takes some of the weight off the shoulders. Perhaps it gives some space from the emotions that often stay attached to experience. And perhaps it offers the possibility of seeing the connection to the greater whole. Seeing the reflection of the cycles in nature, the cycles of ourselves. And honoring the seasons for what they bring. Having patience for the process and trusting the process of our practice. The flowers will come. We just need to keep nurturing. When you're ready from here, just move nice and slowly. We'll come all the way up, nice and tall. And then take your time, just lean back enough to undo through the legs. Move nice and slow. Maybe give them a little shake. And then we'll do the other side, so you could straighten your right leg and then have the left leg come on top. And if it's available, you could bend in through the bottom knee. Find your edge, enjoy the space. Sit tall with balanced hips and a really long spine, integrated core. And then let's pat ourselves on the back with our right hand and bring the left hand onto the right elbow and just give yourself a lovely little stretch there, still sitting tall. Notice the space to breathe. And moving just gently, start to release through your hands, bring them forward and down onto the mat ahead of you, allowing your upper body perhaps to fold forward a little bit. And we really want to tap into the spaces of ease through these classes. So really listening to what your body is saying. If your body says to stop at an edge, stop, breathe, and listen deeper. Maybe you need to back up a little bit. When your body feels safe, it will go deeper into the pose. There's no need to force or rush anything. Just trusting that process. Continuing with that balanced breathing. And maybe you can bring your inner attention all the way down into your hips and your sit bones again and just check in. Notice what the balance is like there. Again, notice if there are any shifts in body temperature. And if there are areas that seem to be hanging on really tight to whatever tension or baggage or weight there may be, perhaps just start to imagine what it would be like to have that area be pain-free, or what would it be like to have that weight lifted off of your shoulders. And just start to imagine that feeling moving through the body for 5 seconds, for 10 seconds, however long you can hold it. And then slowly start to come all the way up. Gently undo through those legs. Give them a little shake. Okay, so moving into a supported puppy stretch. This is going to offer us some beautiful support in our heart space. You may want to use your blanket underneath your knees. And we will need our block. So coming toward tabletop pose, again, I suggest having the blanket under your knees, and then grab your block, and we want it on its second highest setting, widthwise on the mat, and align it pretty much under your chest. You might need to shift it a bit as we get down, but that's what we're aiming for. So we want the block on the chest bone. We'll settle in when you're ready. So just start to reach the hands forwards. The hips stay above the knees, and start to settle your chest on the block. It should feel pretty fantastically supportive for your thoracic spine once you settle in. And yes, it can take a moment to really get in the right spot, but once you've got it, you want to be able to have your forehead touch the ground and your fingertips on the ground. Maybe your palms can lift. And then just breathe here. Do your best to focus that breath as balanced as you can and enjoy that support directly into your thoracic spine. Notice any tension that you're holding around your heart space. Breathe in and out. And consider that whatever gunk of the mind that may come up, that you may move through during these postures, that all gets recycled back as compost for your garden. So the inner journey is well worth it. Beautiful. From here, just gently allow your elbows and arms to slide in so you feel supported enough to gently lift yourself off of that block. Sit your bum to your heels so you can set the block aside. Now remove the blanket from underneath your knees. And then the blanket, keep it folded, and then start to roll the blanket up. So you could have, it doesn't matter how wide your blanket is, but we want to get a nice roll happening. Once you've got your roll, lay the blanket down, and then you'll bring yourself down onto the mat. We want the blanket to be right at the navel center and a little bit below. Now, if you had a big dinner before this, you may want a pretty small roll, or you might want to skip this part altogether. Up to you. Just pause with your elbows on the mat for a sec. Let your belly get used to the blanket being there. And we'll only be here for about a minute, so just take your time. If it feels comfortable enough, allow the chest to come down and your forehead to rest onto your hands, stacking your hands. Just breathing in and out here. Oftentimes we can carry a lot of tension or just discomfort in general in our stomach region. So just be kind and see if you can breathe in a little bit of extra loving gratitude into these spaces. This is also really great for stimulating the vagus nerve, which is a key player in making sure our nervous system feels safe and relaxed. And of course, a happy nervous system before bed will, of course, help us to sleep a bit better at night, or a lot better. So a few more cycles here. See if you can press your belly into that blanket just a little more for the last couple breath cycles. Notice how things started to settle down and soften. And then just nice and slowly, you can come up onto the elbows a little bit and just gently roll yourself onto your back. We'll keep the blanket where it is, just slide it down a bit so it's now behind your hips or on your sacral bone. And bring your right knee into the chest, hands onto the back of the thigh or in front of the shin, and lengthen your left leg down. So this extra little bit of height for the hips offers opportunity to get just a tiny bit deeper into our psoas muscles for a stretch. So just breathe here. We're looking for freedom in the core, freedom in the abdomen. And then slowly just release the sole of the right foot to the mat and guide the left knee into chest, hands behind thigh or in front of shin. Right leg lengthens down. Balanced breath here. Observing as your body just sinks that little bit deeper. Keep your right leg straight and slowly release your left leg straight. Reach the arms just gently overhead, breathing in and breathing out. Beautiful. And then take your time, just bend through the knees so it's easy to slide the blanket out from under your hips. And then lower those hips down. Your arms could stay overhead if that's comfortable, or they could come down by the side. And then let's relax the legs down. And just close the eyes for a moment here. Notice the space you have to breathe. Notice that sense of calm starting to move through the body. Notice that sense of safety through the nervous system. And your ability to breathe well. And in your mind's eye, just start to visualize your garden. Notice the condition of the soil. Notice if it needs more water, more sunlight, maybe more earth or loving attention. Notice that fresh ground, that prepared earth. The space where seeds are planted and we learn to grow. And eventually we learn to blossom and to bear fruit, giving back through the whole cycle of life. While we're here, think of 3 things, 3 seeds of gratitude that you would like to plant in your garden. 3 things you are grateful for, whatever comes to you. But 3 seeds of gratitude in your garden, plant them now. Perhaps you're grateful for health. Perhaps you are grateful for a home or a relationship, whatever it may be. Your seeds are now planted in the garden. And let's continue to maintain and nourish and nurture that garden of ours. Drawing a full breath in, just enjoy a lovely little stretch and reach through the body. And gently release and relax. Bending through one knee and then the other to draw them in toward the chest for a nice hug. And just gently then rolling over to one side and pressing up into a seat. And I hope you feel beautifully rested and prepared for sleepy time. Let's draw our palms to prayer in front of the heart, once again reminding ourselves of those 3 seeds of gratitude. And let's breathe that loving gratitude into ourselves, full inhale. And exhale that loving gratitude out to everyone else. And thank you for our practice. Namaste.
Namaste.
And I hope you feel at ease and ready for sleepy time, ready to catch some Z's. Much love, everyone. Thank you for joining. And perhaps I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. till 7. We've got a nice little fiery burst to start our day.